Yo! When we left off, I died in a jungle temple, at least a mimic of a desert temple that was in the jungle, and I was all the more motivated. I got my legs going. I was on the way, had 4 bread, just barely enough food to even survive, but I started traveling back because I need to get my items back. I'm not going to call it a quits. I'm not going to restart. I may have enough to restart, but I decided there's no chance that's happening. So I figured I'd throw something together, the Minecraft veteran I was. So I traveled and traveled, slowly getting there, slowly getting to the destination. And man, I gotta say, dude, I really love this shader pack. Complementary shaders. I used to do ray traced ones, but performance was pretty horrendous, so I gave up on it. Honestly, was up to it in the wee hours of the night, and I found this sweet sky village. Didn't even know it existed, yet I passed this area. Guess I just needed the sun to go down to see it, so we'll end up revisiting that later. But I was determined. I needed to make it back to this area, and I ended up finding that portal that I saw earlier in the playthrough, and I decided to go loot the chest because I'm not going to loot gold armor. It's a waste of time, so I left all that junk there. But I ended up swimming up and getting that armor. After obviously eating a little bit of bread. I don't really need to narrate. You guys can see what's happening. But what was going through my mind? I just really wanted to wreak havoc. I really did. I wanted to wreak havoc on what was wreaked havoc on me. So I was getting the necessary tools I needed to get after it. Curse of Incompatibility. Honestly, some of these enchantments that are added in this, I don't know what mod it is, totally redundant. I have no idea why they exist. But then again, the curse junk in Minecraft doesn't make any sense as is. I don't really understand why it's there, but either way, I traversed forward, found the temple. It took me a really long time. I was actually really confused. I'm not really good with directions, but I ended up just blocking it up for safety just so nothing can creep up on me, and I decided I'll probably be fine with the skylight. And oddly enough, I figured this as I was going, but since I died and the chunks were then, I wasn't in the chunks, so they weren't rendered, I presumed all the silverfish were gone, and I presumed right, so it was really easy to get my stuff back. I thought I had to fight or do something. Actually nearly died, but either way, I took that spawner out, got some very mediocre loot. For me losing my first life in this playthrough, I was like, dude, it was never even worth it. This dungeon, totally not worth it, but it didn't work. I obviously came back. I found another one, went back to it, but I decided to make a pit stop at home. Or not at home, at this dumb village that has one bed orange hat village, and I had to throw my fists a little bit, try to get this one bed, and to sleep with a bunch of dudes looking at me with their big old schnozzles and beautiful green eyes. Honestly, that trade's kind of nutters, but yeah, I just said nah, I don't need that, and I ended up going back and getting it rolling, Another new day. A new day. Time to start the grind, guys. New day. I woke up at 5 a.m. I then proceeded to meditate for 8 minutes, and then I made avocado toast with a beautiful cup of green tea. Yeah, I don't know if you understand. I actually watched one of those videos recently. I forgot who was making fun of it. Oh, it was PewDiePie. See, listen, guys. I'm not a big guy of that guy, but his videos are pretty good, and I'll occasionally watch them if they pop my recommended, because his content's very entertaining. But I continued onward, saw a beautiful dolphin. Honestly, that's a sick shot, dude. Someone should make that a GIF, put it on Rareable or something, NFT that thing. That was pretty dope. I found another sky village, no big surprise. Oh no, that's not another one. Never mind, that's the same one. Playing myself. And I said I'd revisit it, and I decided to revisit it. I kind of just stared off into the distance, seeing that bird just kind of hover. Honestly, very interesting, crazy power. Thing could just hover. I decided to use my wood because it was really the only block I had, so I built up there. Honestly, I'm very unsurprised at this point because me recording these videos, or at least editing them, I'm like way ahead in the playthrough. So this is me looking back at what I was doing probably hours and hours of gameplays ago. But either way, I peeped out this village. It was really sick when I first got there. I really like the structures. I think the structure is really, really cool. And honestly debated on moving there, but once you get established in Minecraft, you have a kind of a home base. It's really difficult to move, so I couldn't really make that decision. That's something I hate about this game. Although like exploration isn't really rewarded in base Minecraft, like even if it was, it's really hard for me to want to move. Like I'd rather travel a ridiculous amount of time to get somewhere than to move my base. And anyways, traveling's made pretty easy, so I could do anything I want with all these waystones that I have. And stockpiling those things is very key because I think they're really expensive. And that little post thing, had no idea what that was. I zoomed up on it. I saw a couple of them later, but I think I visited it. I have no idea. Personally, I love lanterns for lighting because they just look spectacular. Torches look horrendous. But I mean, I don't like making them. Even though they're not really costly to make, I feel like they're such a pain to make. So I'll literally, if I have the option to buy them from a villager or steal them from somewhere, I much rather do that than actually craft a lantern. So it's such, if you craft a lantern, you're a big dumb idiot. Big dumb idiot. And then I found another temple. For some reason, I decided to go into it. But I had a plan. I had a lava plan, a hot kind of plan. So I literally wasted, I think it was, honestly, this is kind of sad to say, I think literally 30 minutes of me doing this strategy of dumping lava buckets and breaking blocks to burn these freaking idiot vermin. It took me a long time because I think this is a very, very deep dungeon. So I did this for easily 30 minutes, but eventually I ended up getting to the bottom. Again, to loot that wasn't really rewarding loot, but I said, why not? I'll get it. I'll go after it. It's okay. So I looted it up. Got some interesting crafting books. Or not crafting books, enchanting books. Honestly, later on, I will try to get a mending villager at some point in this playthrough. And this dumb enchantment mod makes it so difficult. I think most of my recordings onward from after this episode is just like an hour of me trying to get mending books with no luck whatsoever. But I'll eventually get there. We'll get there eventually. And then still on the hunt for a lush cave. Like, I don't know if you guys understand. This entire journey was not to look for things. I wasn't looking for sky villages, wasn't looking for temples. Literally was looking for not a single thing. I was looking for only one thing. Clay caves. And I traveled far, long, hours of gameplay of looking for a simple cave. I found another sky village, which I also just decided to build up to, expecting something special. There was nothing special. Nothing special at all. Boom, boom, boom. Build, build, build. But I spent hours of my days looking for a clay cave, but all I was finding were these epic sky villages, which, honestly, they're pretty cool. I love them. Always surprised. This was This was a new kind of thing. It kind of looked different than the other one. I loved it. But it wasn't what I was looking for. I was simply looking for a clay cave, and boy, oh boy, I kept looking. I kept looking. Sky village after sky village, temple after temple, ruined portal after ruined portal. I mean, it was starting to get old, quite frankly. And there's like a little wooden well in like the ocean. I don't know. But either way, that junk happened a bunch, man. I was exploring. I was getting really exhausted, to be frank, because I was tired of not finding anything. And it never got better, to be honest with you. But I did visit one of these little pole guys that were really cool. 600 BL, whatever that means. BL meaning big lake. 600 big lakes over there. I found a horse. I figured gambling on a horse would make it easier so I could travel faster. He actually turned out to be more of a burden because horses in water, you know how that goes. Doesn't really work very well. Passed by this giant meteor. Very uninteresting to me. I'm pretty sure there's a chest in there. I tried looking for one. I just honestly was bored of life. But after hours of gameplay, hours of looking, I finally found a lush cave. Finally, in a dark forest of all places. I would have never thought it was there. But I ended up breaking down into there. Hurt myself, took a lot of health away. And it was a really magnificent lush cave. And boy, oh boy, was I giddy. Because all these hours, although I'm still defeated and feel horrendous about it, I ended up finding what I was looking for. And again, guys, if you're doing a villager playthrough, which I do a villager playthrough every single freaking time I play this game, I don't change how I play the game. If there are no villagers in this game will be boring to me because villagers make everything easy. I don't have to mine for diamonds, don't have to enchant diamond armor off the rip. I could simply find a clay cave like this, make $1 million, million green emerald stones, and then I could just buy all the diamond armor. And even though I kind of did that as is, I will use it later for wonderful enchantment books because villagers provide you all that you need in order to make a successful gameplay playthrough. Jeez, possible. But I ended up throwing up a little base, little safe haven. Honestly, it was not very safe though because I kept getting bombarded by idiot mobs or whatever. And why I say idiots is I found out because I didn't know this, but like these little dumb bush things that are in the lush caves, they act as fences to the enemies, so they can't jump over them. Like I think I have a bunch of footage of them just getting stuck on a bush, and they just couldn't move. I ended up making a pit stop back at the crib, throw some stuff, make a few chests or whatever, throw some stuff away, and then I continued building my beautiful abode because I knew, man, maybe I'm gonna make this out of emeralds one day because I'm gonna be making so much money down in these caves. And let me tell you, this cave never ended. So, I mean, I literally had infinite money at this point. So, I was happy. But I ended up closing up shop, building a beautiful home, paving a little staircase back up there. Let it work out so I can, climb back up there. Easy peasy, la squeezy, Luigi. You know me. And those homies were stuck on a bush or something. I don't know what's going on down there. But yeah, that was it. I called it a day. Boom. Done. Happy. Emeralds. All mine.